Hey, what's up, everybody? Today we're gonna make a Hall of Armors using Tinkercad, and it's probably gonna be a little bit different than I did it the first time because I think you learn and get a little bit better each time. But essentially, this is what we're gonna be. Let me move this guy out of the way. Oh, okay. Let's try this again. There we go. Essentially, this is what we're going to be making. If you look at the details, it's pretty detailed, but this will fit a Marvel Legends or Mezco or SHF Figure Arts Iron Man 6.5 inch Iron Man. So yeah, we'll get started on this, and I'm not sure if the stream's struggling or what, but um, let me look real fast to see if we got something going on. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what that was. Gave me a warning, so. But anyway, yeah, this is how we'll make this. I'll probably do this in as like probably over 3 parts, just because it will be kind of complicated, and I'll probably keep it to about 30 minutes, just so I can break it down into easier to use lessons. But essentially, what we'll do to get started is this is about 3.5 wide, so we'll keep that. And there's two ways that you can do this. One is you can build this out, the whole thing, like build this side, build the back, build the other side. I tend to work on just one side at a time and then just mirror everything, and I can show you guys how to do that. So we're gonna start with this guy, and we'll get him out to about, well, I guess we'll go about 3.5 on the base plate. Change the settings here. Let me know if that music is too loud. I decided to not have it empty. Line those guys up. Alright, let's go ahead and start with the walls. So these walls are pretty thin, about 1/8 of an inch. And you'll want these to be, don't want to do that. Somewhat wide just in the beginning, and we'll go ahead and set this to about 7.25. And this is just a good example, or a good way to do this is to bring in like any Iron Man figure that you want. There's tons of them available on Thingiverse or whatever, and the biggest thing here is we're just looking for scale. So, and that looks about right as far as size. let's see how close we got to this one. What does this one say? 7.5. So we can go a little bit bigger, just to make sure we have room. And you can see on this one, essentially what I did is I just carved out some cool shapes, and we're gonna do that with just a regular square tool, or the whole tool, boolean if you will, and we'll just make some minor angles in here. This is probably 45. It doesn't need to be too deep in there. Go ahead and group that, and now we can slice this guy up to our next one, which is going to be basically the same type of cut on the top. And as always, use a reference when you can. It's going to make stuff so much easier. This one we'll try to get in here and get this down here perfect. Although it won't matter because, like I said, you're always going to end up sanding these. But if we can't get it perfect, we should try. Okay. And go ahead and combine those. And let's see. Same thing up top. We're going to go ahead and turn this into a 45. Move this up. This one we're going to have to probably lower just a little bit, it looks like. Oh. It's pretty close. And there's kind of the side panel to start off with. Now this is if you look on this one, you can see that I kind of did the shapes on this inset. So this secondary wall, which is pretty easy to do, we'll just grab another square, bring this guy down. Well, I've lost my way here. Hold on. There we go. Let's try this again. Let's see, this one we have an 1/8. We'll do this one not quite. We'll do it a little bit bigger, not quite as thin. Bring this guy back. just make sure these are aligned in the center. And they have a little depth. Now you can absolutely cut this out, and it looks like I originally did that, just to give it a little bit more shape. So we can do that as well. That's not a problem. And this may be, this one's probably cut just a little bit differently. So it looks like we had a little bit of a lip here at the bottom that we used. And I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate this guy and go ahead and turn him. And that doesn't look like I used it, so probably a 25-degree angle here. Just ease it in a little bit. And like I said, it doesn't matter. I'm probably not going to make it the same as last time. I'll probably change a couple things up, but that's the fun of making it. And we need to lower that just a little bit. There we go. Group those together, and let's go ahead and duplicate this guy so we can use this. Whoa. So I can use this up here at the top. Now clearly we have messed something up, so let's go back and take a look here and see what we bojangled. Alright, so that piece is not the piece we wanted to cut, so I aligned those to the wrong piece. Let's go back here. And we'll do something more like this and see how this works. That looks a little better. There we go. So we can bring this piece back in now. And I'll change these colors so we can see them just a little bit better. So there's the first part of this. You can see that we've kind of remade this piece right here. So it's a little bit different, but and you can make as many little chunks and pieces out of this as you want to. It doesn't really matter. If you're going for that Iron Man tech look, then it's pretty easy to come in and just do a cutout if you want. Right, so, and we can angle it and bevel it and all the pieces we want to. So I'm not going to use that, but you can if you want to. And now you can see that there's this little piece that goes 45 degrees on a 45-degree angle in the back, and that also is pretty easy to make. That's 7.5. We're going to grab this and move it over. Kind of make this fit in here with the Iron Man here. This is the big thing. We want to make sure that he'll fit in there and that we we don't make it all the way and then our Marvel Legends guy doesn't fit in there. And we'll cut all the extra stuff off towards the end. Now I have this a little bit thicker, so we probably should just thicken all of these pieces up. It'll probably help when we go to print, and it's probably better to try to do it now than later. And of course, depending on what you're printing on, whether it's FDM or resin, will make a pretty big impact on how you set this up. Okay, it looks like we have enough room right there, so we're just going to go ahead and combine those two. There's kind of the start of that. Now, what I would do here is, rather than repeating this whole process on the other side, is cut this edge off right here that we don't need. We already know that this is 45-degree angle, so easy to go ahead and set up. Drag this into place. And then we're just going to grab these and we're going to duplicate these and mirror them. This guy in just a little bit. Oh, didn't want to do that. That looks pretty good. And that way we save ourselves a bunch of time, right? Like we don't have to build both those sides, so. And now just any back wall will do, because we're going to end up putting some cool touches on there. But you want to make this thick enough so that it'll print. A quarter of an inch is pretty good. Pretty good. You don't want to make it too thin, especially the back wall. Like, 7.5. Go ahead and change that color, and ba-bam! Now we have we got the shape of Hall of Armor. Pretty easy. Now, Paul, are you following along? Are you trying to build this, or are you just in picking up some tips? But yeah, so there we go. We got the beginnings of a Hall of Armor. Now this piece right here, I would normally bring all the way back. Now I can't do it by just grabbing it and pulling it back this way, because we're going to stretch all of that. That may be a look that somebody wants. It's not a bad look. But you can just bring in another piece. On this one, I'm just going to drag it back. That's kind of a, I don't know, that's kind of a cool look. I like that. I'm going to print this one out tonight. Maybe slap an LED in it and see how it goes. And the big thing I'm looking for is I want some depth in this. So I'm going to probably move these over. Just to give it a little bit of depth on the inside here. Yeah. I want to create some places where some shadows can hang out. I'm gonna go ahead and lock these in. I missed one here. See, that looks pretty cool. So we're gonna move Iron Man out here, and we'll probably do the floor close to last. The top is pretty easy, but this back panel was pretty easy as well. This actually was fairly easy to make. Once I decided how I wanted to do it, it was pretty easy. I'm just going to run these little blocks back here. And we're just going to give them a little bit of space in between to give that gridded look. Let's see how close I got that. Yeah, almost. Just gonna shrink these down together just a little bit, give it a little more of a gap. sure these are centered. That's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So I had about 8 of those blocks in there. And then we went with the 4s. Okay. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on there, mister. Each one of these sticks out a little bit further. If you go to this, you can kind of see that they each kind of ratchet up, which is one of the ones in the forget which one is it. Was it SH Figure Arts that put these out first? They had this escalating type stair steps in them, which I thought was kind of cool. Not sure what we got going on here. Okay, there we go. Keep making these guys a little too big. What's the width? Delete those, and we'll use these guys. Right now we got these at 0.071, so that's probably not enough, so I'll have to go back in there and adjust these. Thought maybe that would maybe bring that out a little bit, but I'm gonna go ahead and just pull this one out then and see where we land. One, two, two, okay. This is just going to be trial and error. You're just going to have to play with the sizes of this until you get it to where you like it, I guess. These definitely were out a little bit further than that. So we'll just go ahead and pull them out a little bit more. That looks better. So yeah, there's our back wall. And if I were to grab all these, let's combine these. There's our back wall. What we probably need to do is thicken these out just a little bit, just to make sure that they all fit in there pretty well. But you can see that we got pretty good spaces in all of these, which is going to be important that we have them stuck to the back wall. And I'll just align this up center. And that's what we don't want. We don't want these sticking out, so we'll push these up. So right about there. Make sure these guys are actually, yeah, they are. And that's going to look pretty cool, especially when we get a light up on top and get some shadow in there. Top is pretty easy. It's exactly what you would expect. And the same with the bottom. Couple different ways to do the bottom. Sometimes I do it the lazy way, so I'll go ahead and show you that. I would take this guy and I would just duplicate the whole thing. Grab the base and group it. Move the wall over here. Like so. And then just cut it, which is really is the lazy way to do it, but sometimes that's just the way I go for it. Looks like a floor. Combine that. That's pretty thin, so I'd probably leave it like that because we're gonna add a section on top of it. Yeah. Sometimes I just don't want to do the math to get all the angles and size right. So I find that that's just a shortcut that just saves so much time. And I try to make pretty much everything I do in an hour, so I usually try to go pretty fast. I think we're going to get done with this top part here and have the base of it pretty set up, which means next time all we'll have to do is do this little corner in here that I have, and then the foot plate, which looks hard but is actually not that hard. top. Top is actually really easy. We're just gonna, we'll just do this one the right way. Whoops, 3738. Just line in the back up here. You don't have to keep those ridges. Probably go back in and actually scale these in. See, this is why I cheat sometimes, right? So if I were to take this and do this the lazy way, I would make sure that these are nice and centered. In this case, I'd probably go, just make sure they're longer. Drag this in. I already know that I want this to have an angle on the front, so I could go ahead and put this in. I already lined this up. Now sometimes you're gonna get this really weird, like I don't know, little schmutz from the little indent that we have, and I'll show you an easy way to fix that too. And then I'm going to really show you how to cheat. There's no point in fixing both those sides when we just really need one fixed. I just bring this down and move it over until you see it actually change the coloration of the sidewall. And then you know you've got it squared away. Right there. Now we know we're good. Got a clean, smooth edge there. And we got this weird thing on the back too, so we'll take care of that. I don't want that either. I think we're starting to get quite a bit of geometry, so it's going to slow down just a little bit. But now we'll cheat. We'll take this and we'll duplicate it, and we're going to mirror it. We'll move it over. We'll go this way. Grab both of these. Now I think I have these flipped backwards, so we're going to take both of these and move them this way. It should work better now. Yep. And we got a little lip there on the back. We don't care about that. We can fix that at any point. And we have a pretty good fit on the side right here. Now we could go over and just bring this all the way over, which is probably just the easiest way to do that. Same for this side. And even though we got a little bit of trimming to do, there's our top. And it's a little bit bigger than the other one, but I kind of like this being a little bit bigger. I always thought this one was a little bit like too shallow, and the figure kind of popped out of it. I kind of like this guy actually being in the Hall of Armor. Like he's kind of in there, gives him some room behind and some shadow. I think next time what we'll end up doing is we got a little bit of a gap here. We can fix this to make this to where this sits down. And we can fix this as well, fix this back to make sure that it's a nice clean fit. And then we're gonna get rid of this little notch here that we created earlier, but that'd be pretty easy to do. So we'll stop right here and clean this up. But I would say, oh, let's try not to grab both these. Did I combine those? Why did I do that? Let's try this again. I'd say it's not a bad start. All right, next time we'll add some details in the corners. We'll shape the floor, which is really easy to do, and we'll build the foot plate where this guy actually can step down inside it. Yeah, foot plate will probably take us most of the next time, just because there's a lot of details down in the, the very, very, like the little nooks and cranny. Some of that doesn't print very well unless you have like a 4K resin printer. It gets lost, but we'll make it so that it will work on SLA or FDM. We'll adjust it just a little bit, but yeah, I think this is, like I said, pretty printable. You pop a hole in here, and all this is gonna create shadow, which is nice. And I think having a little bit more depth in this one is a positive thing. So, but I'll put a speed build up of this, and I'll make this guy available too after we're done. So I'll see you guys next week. We'll finish it off.